and I'm the CEO for Ready, Set, Action. Today in our video, we're going to be taking you through the 4 foundational steps of how to put on a play. The steps we're going to be covering are 1, season selection, because why this play now? 2, financing, how do we get that money? 3, design. You could definitely do a show without any design elements. You could do it with just the script, an actor, and an empty space, but it's definitely more interesting when there are things for the audience to look at. And then the 4th thing is marketing, because how do people know to see your play, and why should they see your play versus another one? So even though we're just covering 4 steps, there are a lot of other things that go into putting on a play, but these are definitely 4 foundations that you need.
Hello, my name is Emily Leffer and I'm here with Norma Saldivar. She is the Dean of the Theater Department.
Well, you know what? I'm going to correct you right away because you're such a good interviewer. You want to have accurate information. I'm the chair of the Department of Theater, and I'm also the executive director of the Nevada Conservatory Theater.
For those of us who don't know, what does season selection mean?
Well, I think that's a really great question to start with. Season selection is the very first thing that we do whenever we're planning to do theater. It can be planning 1 or 2 plays, it can be planning 5 plays or 6. We do anywhere from 6 to 5 plays a year, and this year we're doing 5. So season selection is predominantly putting together an entire offering, a program of plays or musicals that we then offer to the public.
What do you feel is the biggest struggle of season selection?
Well, I don't think of it as a struggle. It is just what it is, right? To me, the word struggle means that I want it to be something different. But in reality, it is planning events. So I have this year 5 distinct events that we have to plan. And we have to understand who we're planning it for, so who are our audience, who normally come. And we have this really exciting group of that are very diverse, very mixed, of people in the community, of students, and of our own students, which are different than the university students, right? Our own students have to learn about theater and what they need to learn about theater history, they need to learn about theater production. And so we have these 3 constituents that we have to address. And so when you say, what is the struggle? It's really about how do we serve all 3? How do we, which plays are we doing for our students? Which plays are we doing for the audience? Which plays are we doing for the university students? And we try to find plays that have a mixture of all of them, that will attract them or at least say something to all of them. There's also this idea that as artists, we do things that reflect the world. So there's always this interesting conversation we have about what's happening right now in the world. And the plays that we choose should reflect what's happening. We shouldn't be doing plays that don't have anything to do with what's going on in our world. And so that's really exciting and a really hard work, but also great fun.
Hello everyone, my name is Mario and I'm here with Shannon. Shannon is the production manager for the Nevada Conservatory Theater at UNLV, and she's here to explain us more about her job, her role, and her position.
Okay, well, I'm the production manager for the Nevada Conservatory Theater, part of the Department of Theater at UNLV. As the production manager, I oversee production. That involves keeping contact with all of the different areas of design, as well as the director and what's going on in rehearsals. I create the calendars for each year that designates, how long we have, let's say, as build time for scenery and costumes and so on, as well as when rehearsals begin, when we have technical rehearsals, when shows open, and when they close. In addition to that, I monitor the budgets for all of those different areas because building stuff costs money.
So one of the questions I have for Shannon is, what are the most important considerations for putting a play when it comes to budgeting?
Well, obviously the first question, or the first part of that, the first consideration is that you need to know how much money you actually have. you know. And then based on the particular show, you're going to take your lump sum of money that is allotted to production, and you are going to divide it between the shows, and then you're going to divide it within the show between each of those different areas: scenery, costumes, lighting, sound design, special effects if you have them, projections if you have them in a particular show. So, and I do that mostly by reaching out to the people who are in charge of those areas.
So my next question for Shannon is, where does the money come from when making a play?
Well, we have two distinct sources for the most part for our money. I mean, one is from the state. The department gets a budget from the state, as do all departments at UNLV. And because of the nature of what we do, that we are this double thing of being both an academic department and a production unit, we get a fairly hefty budget from the state to support our productions. And then the other side of that is what we call soft money, and that's usually box office and can also be donations from individuals or corporations. We have not tapped corporations as much as we should, but our box office is picking up. It really took a dive after the recession, but it's picked up in the last couple of years, and we hope to continue to build our audience, because then that helps us have more money to be able to throw at shows.
There you go.
Hi guys, I'm here with Gabrielle Lewis. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your position here?
Sure. I'm the costume designer, one of the costume design grads at UNLV and NCT. I work with NCT as well. And I'm doing Fun Home, so I'm the designer for Fun Home.
What is the process from start to finish being a costume designer?
Sure. So the first thing is looking at the script, of course. So when we get assigned a show, we have to read the script initially, have some sort of idea on themes, the concept, how we relate to the script, just like our initial thoughts and ideas on the story itself, not necessarily from a design perspective. And then from there, we start gathering more inspirational images of like evocative research, what we kind of visually were thinking of as we were reading the script, just an initial jumping off point for the director to kind of play off of. So after I do evocative research, then we just start having conversations about characters, diving into psychology of the characters and sort of the context of the world that they live in.
Yeah.
So a lot of fleshed out conversations about the
story. To kind of get a perspective of that person.
We have to know the ins and outs of the story.
Okay.
So once we go through that, then we start the whole entire process of finding research. I know for Fun Home in particular, we're dealing with different time periods. So we're dealing with the 70s, we're dealing with the 80s, we're dealing with the 90s, early 2000s. So a lot of period research needs to happen on what costumes or what was fashion like during those times. So it's a lot of fishing around for
because it's
photographs.
Definitely changed over time, so you have to figure out what they wore. That's really cool. I did not know that. So I see you've been holding these pieces of paper. What is exactly in your hands?
So this is essentially the final product. This is what we call the final rendering. So after we go through the rough sketches, when we've talked and discussed about hair, makeup, color, scheme, and everything, then I give her the final renderings for her to look over, for her to approve, and then this is what we need to solidify and bring to life, essentially. So this is the end product, and this is the end goal.
So you guys, as you can see here, we have Allison. This is young Allison. She's wearing this orange shirt, which comes to life right here.
So as you can see, it's a little bit different, right, from the rendering. It's not like fully solid. The sleeves are obviously striped. So this is something that kind of, as a costume designer, these are the problems that we face essentially, because we're shopping for a certain time period that obviously we don't exist in. So sometimes resources are a little bit difficult. the truth of the matter is, whatever you design, it may not necessarily be exactly what happens on stage. There's a lot of compromise that happens during the production process of it. Once we get through the design phase and things are approved and we start producing things, it gets a little bit shifty. Rehearsals happen. Sometimes the director has an epiphany and we go in a completely different character direction. Or like in this case with Small Allison, you know, we wanted a solid sleeved shirt, but we couldn't find one. We found a sleeveless shirt, and the director still wanted sleeves, so we had to kind of figure out a creative solution to accomplish, you know, a look that emulates what we wanted.
Yes.
Right.
Hi guys, so I'm here with Alan Stojin, and could you please tell us a little bit of what you do here in this department?
Yeah, I am the graduate assistant in charge of personal relations and marketing.
Marketing, all right. So in your opinion, what are like the most important considerations when you talk about like marketing a play?
Making sure the audience knows what they're getting themselves into when they come to the show.
All right.
On top of knowing when the show is, where the show is, and how much it costs.
And how do you achieve that?
A lot of social media. Right now we're doing a lot of social media outreach, physical print posters, emails.
Is that more focused to the UNLV community or like the Vegas in general?
Our big email blasts go out to anyone who signed up for the email blasts, and then the social media is for anyone who follows.
That's interesting.
So kind of a mix of both city and students.
Got it. All right, and so how do you get the media involved?
First things first is you ask. If you want to be on a news station, you just email them and be like, hey, we're doing a show. Can we advertise on your show? And they'll sometimes say, no, we're busy, or sure, if you pay us this much, or sure, absolutely, come on down and you can be on a news segment with us this morning.
Okay.
That's one way. Another way you can do it is we have a big old list of hashtags that we use every year that I develop over the summer. We kind of, throughout the year, we add more, but these are the ones we kind of always try to use. These ones down here are show specific, so you will only see the hashtag FunHomeNCT during FunHome, more time FunHome's mentioned. One way we get the media involved is hashtag Make Theater Happen. It is a nationally recognized hashtag put out by Samuel French, which is a licensing company, specifically the one that we got FunHome from. So if we tag that, they'll repost it, and now we have national platform.
All right, another question is, what are some of the challenges in marketing and how does that apply to season selection?
Well, we are in a very big city that has a lot of shows all the time, and compared to being in a city like New York, that is the theater capital, we're in a variety show, circus-centered show world here in Vegas. So we have to find a way to advertise classic theater to a community that's coming and going constantly, as well as one that's looking for high-risk Cirque du Soleil style shows, and how do we get them to come see a Shakespeare or a musical. And I think we're doing a pretty good job on getting our audience in.